Kansas clinches at least a share of their 12th straight conference title with a win today. Looking for their 9th straight win. Texas Tech red hot, looking for their 6th straight win, but their first ever in Lawrence. Kansas wearing their throwback uniforms. Texas Tech in the road scarlet, and we are underway at Allen Fieldhouse. The first possession belongs to the Jayhawks.
Well, for this Jayhawk team, they're coming off a nice road win at Baylor earlier this week.
Lucas in the lane, stripped, but then fouled by Gocher.
And there's a staple of Bill Self on the offensive end of the floor, getting to that high-low action early in this game. Perry Ellis with the threat to shoot the three-point shot. They got to close out on him. Landon Lucas posting up big.
Lucas making his 11th consecutive start for the Jayhawks. He's certainly been a part of this turnaround, Miles. Mainly in rebounding, has led them in rebounding in 6 of the last 8 games. The offensive side still coming along.
Well, the thing that Bill Self loves about Landon Lucas, he feels he can trust him. He knows he's going to be in the right place on the defensive end of the floor. He's going to run the sets on the offensive end. He's going to set monster screens, and he's been a huge factor rebounding the basketball. As you said, 11 rebounds per game over the last 5.
A 66% foul shooter, but he knocks both down to open the scoring.
Now on this end of the floor, watch number 11 in red, Zach Smith, playing the power forward spot, coming off a career high against TCU earlier in the week.
Shot clock's at 5. Keenan Evans tried to thread a pass to Gocher, deflected. Shot clock expires before Gray can get off the shot from near midcourt. Third season for Tubby Smith. And what a job he's done in year 3 turning this program around.
Yeah, I talked to Tubby Smith a few weeks ago when they suffered their worst loss of the season at Oklahoma. And he told me before that game, he said, we're on the cusp of being really good. And the words have come to fruition as of late.
Tip, Lucas, and 1. Lucas cleaning up the Ellis miss.
Mark, I talked about the high-low action on the first play. Look, they do it in different ways. Here, this time, they're going to get it from the wing. As they throw this ball over to the wing, look, the backside is completely cleared out. That leaves the room of Perry Ellis to ride his guy up the lane, and the pass delivered perfectly. They just didn't get the finish, but they got the offensive rebound opportunity.
Well, we would have thought this game would have started with 5 straight points from Landon Lucas. Temple, a rebound for Lucas, and gave a little push to Gray.
And they're saying Zach Smith, he might have blood on his forehead.
He will be attended to.
The official stops the action right away.
Zach Smith Tuesday against TCU, a career high 23 points. Their leading rebounder, their leading shot blocker.
Mark, but this guy coming in the game right now has been the best player for Texas Tech, and he's never started a game in his career. Aaron Ross, 8 straight games with 10+ points, career high 25 versus TCU, and a comeback victory earlier this week. Watch this matchup against Perry Ellis. They tried to run the same little high-low action.
Mason couldn't find Lucas. Gray, a pass over the top to Lucas, who's doubled. Trouble on the baseline. And 3 seconds in the lane.
And see right there, that wasn't a good angle to get that pass because Lucas was pushed underneath the block, which doesn't give him a good enough angle if he was to catch the ball cleanly to go up. He was forced underneath the backboard.
Gocher defended by Graham. Here's Ross. Foul will go on Lucas.
Well, a nice little curl cut there by Keenan Evans. Diving to the basket. The little head fake gets Lucas in the air and draws the foul.
Sophomore Keenan Evans. Great game at Baylor back on February 13th, 21 points. Only 6 points Tuesday night against TCU, but did a little bit of everything, Miles. Had 4 rebounds, 5 assists, only turned it over 1 time. A couple of steals, a blocked shot.
Well, he's really becoming a great leader for this team. Only as a sophomore, coach describes him, he's kind of more introverted, very quiet. He's encouraging him to be more vocal and also to shoot the basketball more. He's getting 13 points per game over his last 6.
Mason driving, kicked out for Graham. Mason all alone, shoots that 3 and drains it.
That's a heck of a play there. Mason drives, then he doesn't give up on the play. He just replaces in the corner where Devontae Graham was. No rotation by the Red Raiders. 3-point make.
Gocher launches a 3. Got it. He answers for Texas Tech.
Gocher been tremendous from behind the arc, the best 3-point shooter on his team, but Mason quickly scores off the little high ball screen on the secondary transition.
Gocher shooting 40% from 3-point range, 9th best in the conference. Ross faces up and shoots over Ellis. He's short. Rebound brought out by Selden. Ellis gave a look to Lucas. Selden in the lane, driving scoop off the right side. Then he fouls Matthew Temple.
Well, Selden had the right idea. He had the penetration that he wanted, able to turn the corner, but doesn't take it up strong enough, and then complicates the matter with the foul.
Wayne Selden, kind of a polarizing figure for KU fans. Such a great talent. Of course, had the huge game here against Kentucky. Didn't do much against Baylor the other night until it really mattered most. He made some huge plays down the stretch.
Well, when you're watching Selden, the ability is there. He is maybe the most talented player on this roster with the way he can put the ball on the floor. He can rebound when he wants to. He can shoot the 3. He's one of the best athletes in the conference.
Ellis long with the 3.
But sometimes you feel, and Coach Self harps on him, that he doesn't play up to his full capabilities.
Gocher from a tough angle. Graham the rebound. Long outlet, Mason. Too strong. Gray the run out. Gray, coast to coast.
Well, Mason got caught looking at Aaron Ross instead of concentrating on the backboard and the rim, and he misses the layup, and it causes 2 points on the other end for the Red Raiders.
Kansas had a 6-point lead, down to 3. Ellis leads in.
Well, good job by Ovidas, just staying big right there, going straight up and down.
Rokas Ubidas out of Lithuania getting some minutes here early. Gocher along 2. Selden picks up the pace, drives towards the rim, and generates the contact. Timeout in Lawrence, Kansas, Texas Tech, an early 3-point game.
And the biggest difference, they're scoring the ball at a high level. It's a team that has tremendous balance. They have 7 players that average between about 8.5 and nearly 11 points per game. But you look at that man right there, Tubby Smith. That's the difference maker for this Texas Tech program right now. He's a great mentor. He's a great father figure, along with being a Hall of Fame type coach, is why Texas Tech program is on the rise right now. They had 3 coaches in 3 years prior to him: Pat Knight, Gillespie, and Chris Walker, and he has just brought a tremendous amount of stability to the program.
Diallo trying to pass back to Graham, but throws it in the backcourt, turned over to Texas Tech.
Yeah, I talked to Todrick Gocher just a few weeks ago, and I asked him what has Tubby Smith meant to him, and you know, most guys say, oh, maybe he helped me work on my handle, he helped me become a tougher player. Todrick Gocher's answer was that he's helped me become a better man and a better person off the court, and I think that's been the staple for all the Red Raider players.
Gocher, a guy who's seen all those coaches you mentioned. He was recruited by Pat Knight. Another part of the winning streak has been the 3-point shooting for Texas Tech. They've hit their only 3 so far today.
This guy right here, Devontae Williams, the 2nd leading scorer. He can fill it up quickly.
Backed up by Devin Thomas, set it on the shot clock. Thomas the drive. Block. Traylor blocked it out for Graham. Williams back defensively. Commits the foul.
And actually a good foul by Devontae Williams. They're calling it on the floor. No shooting opportunity there for Graham. But you watch Kansas late in the shot clock. When it gets to about 7 or under, 5 or under, on any high ball screens, they have enough confidence in their big guys that they are going to switch those and live with what happens between the big guy guarding a Texas Tech guard.
Kylu now in the game along with Jamari Traylor for Kansas. And Diallo. There's Traylor in the lane. Shoots over Smith, who's back in after getting the blood removed off his face and pushing a foul against Kansas.
That's his first personal foul. Second team foul on Kansas.
Diallo picks up his first. I guess part of the equation of trying to win in a building like Allen Fieldhouse when you're a road team, Miles, is to not get knocked out early.
Yeah, and Kansas goes on a little run early in this game, but Texas Tech has had the answers, and their defense has been much better the last 4 or 5 possessions.
Driving baseline, kicked underneath. Smith blocked. Diallo, but Smith gets it back, and another block, but a foul call.
How about the recovery by Sheck Diallo? Goes to make a help on the play along the baseline, and look, he's able to recover so quickly to Zach Smith, one of the best athletes in the conference, get up and block that shot, but on the second opportunity, he commits the foul.
Well, Diallo is the top freshman shot blocker this year in the Big 12. That was his 20th block of the season. Free throw miss by Smith, a 67% foul shooter.
Fans need to get used to seeing this young man, Zach Smith. Went to high school in Plano, Texas, from East High School. Tremendous athlete, playing really some of his best basketball. Had 16-9 when they had the monster win at Baylor. As you mentioned, a career high the other day against TCU. Good shot blocker, brings great energy to the floor.
Mason's pass deflected. The third Kansas turnover. C.J. Williamson, a freshman in the game for Texas Tech. Stumbling. We've got another hardwood Super Saturday for you. 2 big-time matchups. First in the ACC. Bryce Johnson, 7th-ranked North Carolina, take on 3rd-ranked Virginia in Charlottesville at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. And to the NBA, 8:30 ABC, Steph. And the Warriors taking on Durant in Oklahoma City. Drive, Williamson high off the glass. Rebound, kept alive by Temple. Williamson passes up the long 3. Lost down low, picked up by Graham. Selden had to wait on the pass. Skips it, Mikhailuk. He didn't take it to the rim. He gives it to Graham, who shoots the 3. Tipped by Traylor, tipped back out by Diallo. Selden a 3. Williams able to corral the rebound for Texas Tech.
Well, Kansas really had a transition opportunity blown because of a poor outlet pass there. If they could have hit Wayne Selden right in stride, he would have been able to probably go ahead and lay that in.
Kansas has now missed their last 7 from the field. Texas Tech's hit only 1 of their last 9.
But the game is being played at Texas Tech's pace right now.
It got caught on the hip of Williamson. And taken away by the Jayhawks, the 3rd Texas Tech turnover. Selden in the lane. Off the back rim. 3. 1 and done for Texas Tech.
See if the Jayhawks can get something, penetration to the basket, either for a layup or a kick out.
Quick pass, Mikhailuk, Traylor, and 1. All created by the quick pass by Mikhailuk. Well, a timeout. Kansas up by 5. Well, the streak began for Kansas back in 2005. What was going on over 10 years ago? And he admitted to me, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be a special one here at Allen Fieldhouse. Especially Perry Ellis will be done. This young man, Jamari Traylor, now coming off the court. Really a special story. Grew up homeless for a time in Chicago. Went to school basically just to eat breakfast and lunch. Lived in abandoned cars, sometimes with friends. And a man named Lauren Jackson took him in and kind of changed his life forever. Came in as a partial qualifier and leaving with a Kansas degree.
I remember coming here a few years ago. He and Ben McLemore were guys that just practiced against the rest of the team.
Yeah, Bill Self really said that with Jamari Traylor going head-to-head against Thomas Robinson on that Final Four team is really what helped that team get better.
Mason finds Ellis going for the jam, but Temple up there for the block. Here is Temple, but he traveled. Matthew Temple, though, is an interesting story himself. A guy who was playing fraternity basketball for Delta Tau Delta not long ago. And Tubby Smith and the Red Raiders found him on the campus in Lubbock, and here he is starting for a Big 12 team. Yeah,
he spent 12 years in Trinidad Tobago. He's friends with Clark Lambert, former Red Raider player. Came in over the summer to work out with the team, and coach asked him to join. Took him a semester to join the team. He had to wait until after the fall semester just because you have to meet certain academic requirements to be a collegiate athlete. He had to catch up on a little bit of that. He was kind of going the fraternity way.
Lucas in a crowd couldn't finish. Yeah, the fraternity life can be a bit appealing in some aspects. Well, neither team shooting the ball real well here to start. Smith, the jab step, reach by Mikhailuk. 5 on the shot clock, and Temple got away from Mikhailuk and lays it in.
Well, that was a nice pass by Evans to the roller of the basket, and the finish for the Red Raiders.
Kansas is led by as many as 6. That lead down to 2. Ellis around Gray. Nice move by the senior Perry Ellis.
Mark, in my opinion, Perry Ellis not getting enough love nationally for the type of seasons he's having. To me, should be a first-team All-American. He's averaging 18 and 6 in conference for a team that's been in the top 5 pretty much all season long. He's the lead, but he just does it so quietly. You know, there's not the big, really 30-point games with him, just a great deal of consistency. And look at that, the athleticism by Gray to come over the top and tip dunk that home.
Well, Sapo Gray came off the bench in the first meeting against Kansas and scored 10 points, but Mikhailuk with a 3. Well, yesterday afternoon, the KU practice, Mikhailuk could not buy a basket. He was really frustrated, but comes out and hits his first shot today.
Well, he's really been playing with the most confidence in his 1.5 years or nearly 2 seasons here that I've seen him, especially in the last couple weeks, getting more consistent minutes, and I think that breeds confidence.
Here's Gray again. Selden avoided the contact, and the shot well off the mark from Gray. Quick hands from Keenan Evans. Up ahead of the field, a slam by Zach Smith.
And that pass, so unlike Frank Mason, only 2 turnovers in his last 3 games, but telegraphed that bounce pass to Ellis.
Tries to answer with a 3, cannot. Smith the rebound. Evans being aggressive, tough shot. Kept alive by the Red Raiders. A Gocher 3 off the right side, going out of bounds. Smith saved it. Ellis on the court. Outlet pass for Mason. Steps around, or tried to step around Evans, and Keenan Evans picks up the foul.
Well, the Texas Tech Raiders are hanging around here in Allen Fieldhouse, and it's because of plays like this. The defensive steal leads to the easy slam by Zach Smith. Red Raiders down 3. In the country, they play fast. Virginia's much improved on the offensive end. They're no slouch on that end, but their defense is stingy as can be. Let's see if North Carolina can go on the road and pull one out.
You got the Warriors Thunder on ABC later tonight. Think the Warriors are going to do it? They're going to break the Bulls record?
I think they are. Yeah. And I think that's a team that is determined to do it. It's a very focused group, you can tell, and a very competitive group at that. And when you have a chance to do something special, maybe a once-in-a-lifetime thing, you should absolutely go for it. You already won the championship last year. Go ahead and set a record, especially breaking a Michael Jordan set record.
You don't get to break too many of Airness's records. Ross at 3 off the right side. Gray going after the rebound. He was all tangled up with Green. Ross leans in. No third opportunity. That's going to go against Gray. Texas Tech, Miles, is getting some second chance opportunities.
Yeah, they really are. They're working the glass. They have 7 offensive rebounds in this game already. Keeping some basketballs alive. One thing, if you're the Jayhawks, what you got to put a hit on your guy. And this is what happened to Brandon Green on that possession. He tried to block out, but he didn't go and seek the basketball.
17th foul against the Red Raiders. So Green, a terrific foul shooter, hits the front end of a 1-and-1.
Bill Self describes Brandon Green as the best pure shooter that he has ever coached. Been in and out of the doghouse at times over the last couple seasons. 5-game suspension earlier, but seems to always play his way through it. It can be a difference maker because he can light you up from behind the arc really quickly.
He hit his only 3-point shot at Baylor the other night. Evans off balance. Picked up off the court by Lucas. Lucas scored the first 5 points of the game. There's the finish. Carlton Bragg.
You know what? That was a great post up by Bragg. Runs right to the block, rim run like you're taught to do. They get the ball up to the wing, and Bragg had the angle. Ross needs to attack him.
Ross shoots the jumper over him, did not attack. Mason went into one of the camera folks on the baseline, so he's just now getting back into the play. There's Frank coming off a neck injury late in the game at Baylor the other night. And he got it twisted around. Lucas with that high-low pass for Bragg, tipped out of bounds by Ross with 6 on the shot clock. Zach Smith will return for Temple for Texas Tech.
Watch for a quick hitter. Right here to Frank Mason.
Give it to Mason. Step back with 2. Didn't get a great look.
Or defended well by the Red Raiders.
The Raiders look to cut into this 8-point Kansas lead with just over 6 minutes to go, but an entry pass wide of Ross.
And see, these are the opportunities if you're Texas Tech. You did a great job on the defensive end. You get the stop that you want. You have a perfect post-up right there, but you're just not able to deliver that pass. And trying to win on the road at Allen Fieldhouse, you can't squander those opportunities.
The 5th Texas Tech turnover. Graham brings it up this time for the Jayhawks. Ellis along 2.
As consistent as can be. Comes right off the bench. They run their little high ball screen action, the pick and pop. And the dimension that Ellis has added to the game is what makes him a threat, is that he can put the ball on the floor from that area now. And see right here, look, they come into this little angle ball screen. Okay, he's going to come off, and then that's going to open it up on this backside because you got a shooter in the right corner. Gocher can't come and help. He only bluffs a couple feet, and that's too easy for the senior Perry Ellis.
5-hour energy.
Seminole run for Kansas. They've opened up a 10-point lead with just over 5.5 minutes to go in the first half from Allen Fieldhouse. Texas Tech just 2 of their last 11 from the floor. Glad you could join us from Allen Fieldhouse. A little touch foul. Well, tonight after Florida and LSU at Sports Center at night with Steve Levy and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have all the highlights from college basketball, the NBA, including updates on the Warriors Thunder game, the NHL. Spring training's going on. Also the NFL Combine in Indianapolis and more. Sports Center at night tonight after college hoops here on ESPN. And also streams live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Keenan Evans here at the foul line has really solidified the point guard spot for the Tubby Smith team. His dad, Kenny, was a great athlete, a high jumper at Arkansas. Made it to the 2000 Olympic finals in that event.
Mom Chantel was a women's basketball player at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Tech goes to his own defense for the first time.
Pass over the head of Bragg from Green. Here comes Williams behind the back. Not sure why he needed the razzle-dazzle, and Evans couldn't handle the pass.
No, Devontae Williams should have taken that ball up strong and tried to finish. Instead, he tries to make the showtime play, and you just don't need it. You're one-on-one against Frank Mason, and I know Carlton Bragg was coming from behind, but you take that thing up strong to the rim and let any of your Red Raider teammates come and follow.
Which one thing Texas Tech has done very well today is offensive rebound.
Stay in the zone. Got to beware of Luke and Selden.
Selden, quick pass. Luke the three. Second three today.
Tremendous ball movement against the zone. The diagonal pass to Wayne Selden set up the extra pass to Luke.
You know, it's strange how streaky shooters can get, Miles. I know it was just practice last night, yesterday afternoon. I mean, he could not hit a shot in practice. He's hit his first 2 threes today, and now he has a rebound. Selden gets past Williams, takes it to the rim, can't finish, but will shoot 2.
Well, here's the work against the zone defense here. Watch the diagonal pass from Bragg to Selden. The defense is too late to rotate. It gets to Luke's hands within a split second, and he has a super quick release, and at his size, hard to contest.
Sviatoslav Luke, who is one of 3 Jayhawks honored this week as academic all-conference. Perry Ellis and Evan Manning as well. Todd Rigocher, Justin Gray on that list for Texas Tech. There's a Smith rebound. The Raiders cannot buy a shot from the outside so far.
Well, I think a big part of that has been the Kansas defense has been excellent. And I think that's been the difference maker of why they've taken control of this Big 12 race.
Gocher's 3. Bam, that's his second today for Todd Rigocher.
He has made 3 threes per game over his last 6, one of the best shooters in the Big 12. Great usage of the ball screen there to free himself.
Ellis with a 3. Tipped by Evans to Smith. Red Raiders were down by as many as 11 and cut it to 8. Ross has the size advantage over Mason, but cannot connect. Tip. The rebound by Carlton Bragg. Mason, that's a blocking foul. Going against Evans. 3:01 to play first half. Jayhawks up by 8. Now Texas Tech right now is at 8 according to Lenardi. If this were to hold up, you'd have Texas Tech as an 8 seed. Those would be the 8-9s right now for Lenardi.
And usually the 8-9s obviously some of the most intriguing matchups when those brackets come out. If you look at that Texas Tech, if they match up against Providence has 2 very good players in Bentel and Dunn, but Texas Tech, you would give them a great chance to win that basketball game. I like that UConn team with Daniel Hamilton. Been having a sensational season.
And of course the winner of 8-9 would face the 1 seed in round 2. Mason misses the front end, but a trailer rebound. Luke cannot miss from beyond the arc today.
But how about Jamari Traylor? Fighting off 2 to 3 Texas Tech Red Raiders, not giving up on the play, snatching that rebound, and one of the best times to shoot a 3-point shot. Off an offensive rebound, Luke spots up and knocks it down. And if you're Texas Tech, you feel it's just those little things that prevent you from closing the gap in this basketball game. It's a behind-the-back pass as Gocher answers with another deep three.
Third one for Todrick Gocher. Kansas had tied their largest lead of 11. That's now down to 8. Kansas has been very well balanced with 9 different scores. Luke kicks it off. Traylor's wide open. Takes a long two that does not draw rim.
That's not really Traylor's game. He's better at attacking the basket, getting offensive rebounds, or posting up.
It's like he thought, hey, I'm so wide open. It would have been nice to take a few dribbles to the rim.
And usually there's a reason why you're wide open.
Under 2 minutes to go, first half. Gocher traveled. Little slide with that pivot foot, and it's the 7th first half turnover for the Red Raiders.
Well, and you see late in that shot clock, they have enough confidence with Ellis or Traylor in the game. They'll switch that ball screen with those guys and put those guys on a guard, and they got to do a job for about 4 to 5 seconds. Traylor does it perfectly.
Oh, a collision. Mason is down. Temple picks it up. Traylor was also down, and the officials will stop play. And I think Tubby Smith's argument is, hey, my team was going to have a numbers advantage, but you stopped the play. But obviously the officials thought it was severe enough that they needed to stop it. Been a lot of friendly fire, Jayhawk to Jayhawk. Remember Perry Ellis last week at K-State took friendly fire and had to get stitches in his head and an eye problem, and that was a Traylor Mason collision there. Mason up. Taylor as well. Texas Tech only shooting 28% from the field. 3 left side. Good. Tough shot. Gocher has been the answer from the outside for Texas Tech.
Bill Self, he seems calm, but he's very upset at Mikhailuk. You can't turn your head on Todrick Gocher. In the scouting report, you know he is the best three-point shooter, most consistent three-point shooter that the Red Raiders have. And now you're losing him and allowing Texas Tech back in the game. Here's the one, Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis is 6'8", but if you have your hands down, it makes you a smaller player, and you have to make Gocher a driver. And now Zach Smith, he makes the pass. Mikhailuk goes to reach on Zach Smith for no reason, and then that leaves Gocher spotting up in the corner, and now it's a 5-point game.
Well, neither team's had a great shooting day, but have actually shot the 3-ball fairly well. Texas Tech 4 of 7 in three-point shooting, thanks to Gocher hitting 4 of 5. And KU right now 4 of 9 in three-point shooting. Mikhailuk's hit all 3 he's attempted.
And Mark, let's remember, during this 5-game winning streak, they beat 3 ranked teams. In those games against the ranked teams, they shot 42% total from the 3-point line.
Pass over the top. Ellis.
It's a go-to play. The post guys are so good at riding their guys up the lane, letting the 3-quarter or the front happen on the post defender, and then the pass delivered perfectly to the bottom of the backboard.
Thomas, dangerous pass. Smith.
You see Selden guarding Gocher all the way out by the Jayhawk. They're not leaving him.
Thomas gets in the lane, a fadeaway, just throws it up with the left hand and gets it to fall.
Tough shot by the junior college transfer from Silver Springs, Maryland, Cloud County Community College.
Jayhawks hold it for the final shot of the first half. Mikhailuk trying to make it 4 for 4 at the horn.
That was good defense by the Red Raiders, but Mikhailuk just better on the offensive end. The beautiful drive by Frank Mason. The defense does actually a good job of staying home. They know the pass is coming. Mikhailuk just reached into the locker room with some momentum.
So Texas Tech will have possession to start the second half. Gocher and Mikhailuk each hitting 4 threes in the first half. Bench points heavily favored by Kansas. 19-2 in that first half, and a lot of that came from Mikhailuk off the bench for Kansas. Austin Williams, though, no points in that first half for Texas Tech. Temple lays it in. Very good beginning for Tech.
Yeah, great ball and player movement. I like the set. They took away the initial opportunity for Gocher, but they kept playing through the play, and Temple ends up with the lay-in.
Tech has never won here at Allen Fieldhouse. A KU victory today, they would clinch at least a share of their 12th consecutive regular season title. And also most likely the #1 seed in the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. Ellis rolls off. And then Lucas pushed from behind. Well, there is a kind of a freak tiebreaker that would keep Kansas from being the 1 seed with the win here today. But most likely they're going to be the 1 seed in Kansas City. And if it ended today, those are the matchups you'd see with Texas Tech playing against TCU on the first day.
For those of you that have never been to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City at the Sprint Center, I got to experience it for my first time last year, and boy, is it a tremendous atmosphere, one of the best conference tournaments that I've ever been to.
And it's not just the Kansas fans that make the short trip, it's the Iowa State fans. It's all the fans make it a great tournament. Temple travels. It's the 8th turnover committed by Tech in their first of the second half.
Temple just struggles to finish and gather against better athletes than him. You see, he can't just go straight up and power up that far away from the basket. He's been filling in nicely for Narence Odiase, who's been out with the broken foot. They possibly might get him back about a week from now.
It would be their finale against Kansas State. There's a foul in the lane. Odiase, who broke the right foot January 18th at TCU. And as Miles mentioned, they hope to get back for the regular season finale. You know, you look at the remaining schedule, obviously a tough task here at Allen Fieldhouse, but they have to go to West Virginia next. But the home game against K-State is one that you would expect them to win, especially if they're a legitimate tournament team, which it looks like they are. Ellis in traffic scores.
He's so good. He has great hands. He gathers underneath, feels the contact, and then goes up strong.
Reach by Ellis. Picked up by Mason. He has Selden ahead of the field. Kicks it to him. Passed up the 3. Gets in the lane. Out for Graham. Now Mason launches. Gray from behind. Nope, they're calling that on Landon Lucas. Second on Lucas. Kansas led by as many as 11 in the first half. Led by 8 at the break, lead by 8 here. A couple minutes in. Away from the ball. Graham saying he got smacked in the face by Gocher, but it's Devontae Graham.
Well, it's a smart play by Gocher. They're running this little 1-4 set, and they put Gocher in the right corner, and he's going to receive staggered screens, but Graham is trying to overplay him to the top, and Gocher just kind of cutting back door, gets the body contact.
Graham, the first Jayhawk to 3 fouls. Temple picked up his 3rd foul a bit ago for Tech. He's the first Red Raider to 3.
Let's see if Texas Tech can get Aaron Ross going. He's had double figures in 8 straight games. A struggle to find a rhythm here so far at Allen Fieldhouse.
Now setting a high ball screen, but Evans feeds him. 5 to shoot. Ross spinning. Could not get it to fall. Gray couldn't either. Selden the run out. Has Mason with him and Graham on the wings. Hands off to Frank. Lost it out of bounds, staying with Kansas.
Texas Tech has done an excellent job in transition defense so far today. No numbers the last 2 times for the Jayhawks, making them play in the half court on a consistent basis.
They try to win here for the first time ever at the Fieldhouse. 3 from Mason, his second 3 today. Steal Mason behind the back to Graham. Gives it to Selden. The reverse finish. Timeout, Texas Tech.
Well, one of the best ways to get open, if you're Frank Mason, is to set a screen. We watch this baseline out of bounds play. This is called flex cut action. You're going to see the back screen here that he sets on Perry Ellis. After he sets the back screen, that's going to free him up for the three-point shot as the defense is confused on their coverage. They get caught in a switch. There's no talk. Frank Mason wide open for the three.
Kansas on a 7-0 run. Now leading by 13, their largest lead after the Texas Tech timeout. Gocher up ahead for Gray. And they just lose it out of bounds. He had Ross there, but Texas Tech turns it over. They're 11th.
But Gray should go right up with that basketball, because even if he misses, Ross in the 2-on-1 situation, he's there for the offensive rebound opportunity.
Away for the ball. Offensive foul against Kansas.
Oh, Lucas with the moving pick. Didn't get his feet set, and he rolled into the guy that was guarding Wayne Selden.
So that's the third on Landon Lucas. He joins Devontae Graham with 3 fouls, and Lucas will head to the Kansas bench. Diallo comes back in. Diallo played 5 minutes in the first half. Bragg played 5 as well.
Now remember, in the first half, Texas Tech took an early hit from the Jayhawks, and then they were kind of able to maintain and play even throughout the rest of the half. But let's see if it's the same story here in the second half.
In a Kansas win, and they clinch at least a share of their 12th consecutive regular season title. Evans leans in, rolls off the rim. Mason drives and scores.
The Jayhawks so good in the secondary break. I love the way that Selden did not force the action and take a bad shot. Finds Mason, who gets the driving lane, the straight line drive to the rim. But right now, where's the answer for Texas Tech? You need Aaron Ross to maybe get a touch. They got the switch in the post. He has Selden.
Diallo with the rebound. 9-0 run for the Jayhawks. Trying to make it 12-0. Quick shot from Selden. It's tipped back out by Diallo. Swung to Graham. Well, it started with maybe not the wisest of shot selections from Selden, but the broken floor 3 and Gocher, who hit 4 threes in the first half. Well contested that time by Mason. Screen from Ellis, a 3, Graham. Ross rebound for Texas Tech.
Well, good defensive possession there by the Red Raiders. Let's see if they can get something going on the offensive end. Something attacking the basket, putting some pressure on the Jayhawks defensively. Been very perimeter oriented this half.
Off the Ross screen, Gray to Ross. 10 to shoot. Shoots over the long arms of Diallo, and it's a long shot. Rebound out to Diallo.
Too many threes.
3 from Selden. Second straight sequence. He's launched a quick 3. And a rebound, Texas Tech, and a Kansas foul. Timeout. Jayhawks on the verge of their 12th consecutive conference title. Bill Walton, who was a member of that UCLA program that won 13 in a row. We'll hear from Bill when we come back to Lawrence. That will give them at least a share of their 12th consecutive, and then they'd have to continue the streak next year to tie UCLA. But you know, Miles, every year it seems like there's, at least in the last 3 or 4, at some point in the conference season where KU looks vulnerable. They're not going to get a piece of the conference title, and then somehow they click it into gear.
And I feel I was there at their most vulnerable point this year. The game at Oklahoma State, where Oklahoma State just ran them out of the gym in the second half. And I feel at that point in time, Coach Self hadn't really determined his rotations. There was 11 guys kind of playing on a regular basis. Now I really feel he's shortened his bench. Landon Lucas has solidified the 5 spot for this team, and then the guards Mason and Graham have really blossomed into their own players.
Thomas has to do something with the shot clock winding down. He got stripped by Mason, and then Temple unable to get a shot off before the shot clock expires.
And this is where Kansas has gotten so much. It's the defensive end of the floor where they're locking teams down. They're really dialed into the scouting reports and the tendencies of each team, and they're playing them to a T.
During this run, Miles, there have been years where Kansas was the obvious best team in the conference. There's Diallo with the turnaround. Rebound by Smith. Let's face it, that window has closed. I mean, there are some really good teams in the conference besides Kansas.
Yeah, well, let's remember, Oklahoma was #1 in the nation at some point. They have arguably the National Player of the Year on their roster. They have an experienced team. West Virginia was returning a lot of guys, and that team had given Kansas trouble, especially in Morgantown the last couple seasons. Iowa State was top 5 preseason. I mean, the league is as deep and as good as it's ever been, and the true round robin, I mean, that's even more impressive to me the last few years that you're doing it. You have to go to everyone's home floor and win and be successful.
Thomas feeds Williams and one, and Texas Tech not going to go away. Still just under 12.5 minutes to play.
Well, this is a team that has a lot of fight and a lot of toughness. They kind of model their coach, Tubby Smith, the beautiful pass, and then Williams absorbs the contact and is able to finish. And a great answer out of the timeout for the Red Raiders to kind of get themselves back in this ball game and just hang around a little bit.
Three-point play completed by Devontae Williams.
Now, I feel for the Jayhawks, it's kind of an odd lineup in the game. You have Green and Mikhailuk in at the same time. Traylor and Diallo. Only one starter on the floor. If you're Texas Tech, this is where you want to make your run.
One starter being Mason feeds Green, who almost lost the handle.
Well, he was thinking shot, and he had a wide open shot. He had his feet set.
5 on the shot clock. Mason a 3.
That's just tough. Texas Tech did everything they could on the defensive end. Shut down all the options, and then Kansas just has a guy that can make a play at the end of the clock.
Smith. Rebound Mikhailuk. Miles, have we been seeing that more from the Jayhawks during this winning streak where they score late in the clock? Face up, shot. Getting in the act. Diallo. His first bucket.
Bill Self has really praised Diallo and Bragg, two highly recruited guys that, you know, they usually expect to come in and play 20, 25 minutes a game, be starters. But he's praised that their team, that they are team-oriented guys, not worried about themselves at all.
Tip, not there. Texas Tech has had a number of chippies at the rim that haven't gone in. Diallo, by the way, averaging about 8 minutes per game. Bragg averaging about 9.5.
I mean, they're guys that could have pouted and sulked and complained about not getting the playing time they want, but instead they just come in, work hard every day.
Mason along the baseline. You're going to call that foul on Temple.
Well, Frank Mason, when the clock winds down, put it in his hands and he can knock down the three-point shot, and then now Sheck with the checkmate jump shot, and the bench is loving it here.
Don't forget, brackets open on Sunday, March 13th. You fill out your bracket at ESPN.com/bracket or download the Tournament Challenge app. KU right now a 1 seed, Texas Tech at 8, according to Joe Lunardi. Of course, Kansas with a win here, not only would it be 12 straight regular season titles, but most likely would be the #1 team atop the polls again, with Villanova losing earlier in the week.
Well, this is a Kansas team. They can win it all. And it's a deep team. They can shoot the three. They defend the ball. They defend really well. They have a leader in Perry Ellis. They got two pit bulls for guards in Devontae Graham and Frank Mason. But I think the biggest key for Kansas, if they want to cut down the nets, is going to be consistent play in the NCAA tournament from Wayne Selden.
Devontae Graham. He makes it a 20-point game just about midway through the second half.
Well, Graham's been playing his best basketball in his Kansas career over the last couple weeks. He's over 50% from the field, about 13.5 points per game over his last 4. But not only that, he's their best perimeter defender. Remember how hard he made Buddy Hield work down in Lincoln. Sorry, Norman.
Devontae Williams with a 3. It's the first made 3 for Texas Tech for someone other than Todrick Gocher.
Back to the zone defense for the Red Raiders.
Six to shoot. Trailer stripped but fouled with 4 on the shot clock. Team foul number 4 against the Red Raiders. Kansas will take it out of bounds on the baseline.
Now with Tech staying in the zone, they got to be wary of the three-point shot. Really, Kansas's 3 best three-point shooters are on the floor.
Graham has a bounce over the backboard and on to Texas Tech. We got a Kansas team that's going to make it to their 27th consecutive NCAA tournament. Looking for their 12th straight regular season title in the Big 12. And as far as success in the NCAA tournament, of course, there was the national championship in 2008. School record 37 wins. But there have been a few early exits as well.
Yeah, last year they lose to Wichita State, which I'm sure the Shockers are obviously looking forward to that game. They really took care of this Kansas team. But I think it's going to be a different outcome this year when March comes around.
Gocher's 3 got fouled by Mikhailuk. 3 free throws coming for Gocher. Well, Mikhailuk's hit all 4 of his 3-point attempts. He's had a couple defensive hiccups, though, that I'm sure Bill Self has noticed.
Well, he tried to recover to Gocher and just gets a piece of the arm there. Gocher's really a tremendous story. He's played for Pat Knight, Gillespie, Chris Walker, and now Tubby Smith, 4 coaches in his 5 years. And I asked him why didn't he leave, you know, when they're going through all these coaching changes. He says, my dad told me you commit to the school, not to the coach. And that's kind of the opposite thinking of what many athletes go through. People will say that they commit to the coach, and then when a coach leaves, that you should be able to transfer scot-free. But Gocher had a totally different answer, and he's going to have 2 master's degrees by the time he leaves the Red Raiders this spring. He's interned in different departments, and he says he really wants to be an athletic director one day when his playing career is over. Tremendous young man.
He's certainly more of an old school mentality with his loyalties to the school. Graham trying to penetrate the zone. Selden.
You see Selden's hesitant. Doesn't want to shoot it because he's missed his last few in this half. Now he turns it over.
Gives up numbers, and the jam by Keenan Evans.
That's good by Keenan Evans.
Self wants a timeout.
Of course, you can't call it yourself, the coach in this instance, so the player does. It's an 8-0 run here for Texas Tech.
Well, Texas Tech changing up the defense, being active. Gocher with his hands on the basketball leads to the easy lay-in. Red Raiders keeping it close.
Nice. 397 three-pointers in a season to obliterate his own record.
I mean, he's just a ridiculous player, the things that he is doing with the basketball and the way he can shoot it off the catch or shoot it off the bounce.
Stripped out of Bragg's hands. Kansas gets it back.
I'm surprised we're not seeing more Landon Lucas here in the second half. I know he has 3 fouls, but Kansas just sloppy.
Williams blocked by Ellis. Smith keeps it alive. And a frustrating afternoon for Ross, who's still trying to dent the scoring column. But we'll go to the line.
17 fouls on Kansas. At the line.
Aaron Ross came in averaging a team best 13 points in conference play. 0 for 6 from the field today.
Well, Ross has had kind of an injury play career. He's had some knee problems over the last couple seasons, but this year came in the best shape of his life, and that's really been the difference in his play. He could stay on the floor longer. He's not fouling as much. Added the 3-point shot to his game. He'd only made 10 threes in his first 2 years. Has 28 already made this year, shooting nearly 40%.
Ross, an outstanding free throw shooter. Only Buddy Hield has a higher percentage in the Big 8 and the Big 12. 10-0 run for Texas Tech. Gotten him back in the game, down to 10. It seems like this Kansas run of regular season titles dates back to the Big 8, but it does not.
The zone has been a difference maker during this run for Tubby Smith.
Lucas pass, Ellis knocked out of his hands, taken away, and a tough defense from Gocher.
Well, unlike Perry Ellis, he brought the ball down, and that allowed for the strip.
11th Kansas turnover. Tech trying to whittle this down to single digits with still 7 minutes to go in Lawrence. Smith faces up on Lucas. Evans high off the glass. Ellis the run out with Mason. Mason somehow got it over Smith for the bucket.
That's a heck of a play by Mason because they had no numbers.
Three from Ross. Selden to 2.
He's lost confidence. Like, why would you step into a two-point shot when you're one of the best three-point shooters in the conference and not shoot the wide-open three? Just because you've missed a couple, you can't let that affect your confidence if you're Wayne Selden. Let the next one go. Your teammates believe in you.
Under 10 on the shot clock for Tech to Ross. Fighting, and that one rolls in for Aaron Ross. A deep breath there from Aaron Ross to make it a 10-point game. Selden passes up the 3. Ellis going up strong. Tips it back out. Saved by Graham. Selden. But you don't have a problem with that one?
No, that's okay. That's a good shot. He's wide open. I mean, the guy shoots 42% from 3. He's just not making them today.
His three-point percentage has gone down significantly in conference play. Obviously, the big game that stands out as Gocher throws it out of bounds is the non-conference Big 12 SEC Challenge matchup here against Kentucky, and Selden went off.
And see, they're going to bring Mikhailuk in the game to maybe stretch out that zone, see if he can find the rhythm that he had in the first half.
Kansas win, and it's 12 consecutive regular season titles. Tech not making it easy. 10-point game. Over 4.5 still to go in Lawrence.
Got to get some type of penetration against this zone. Can't continue to pass it along the perimeter.
Mikhailuk. Pass deflected. Steele, Williams. Up ahead, Gocher. 3 on the way. Tip. Ross fouled from behind. That'll be number 4 on Landon Lucas.
Lucas was just hustling back to try to make a play on the ball.
And Lucas has 4 fouls. Temple has been on the bench for Texas Tech with 4 fouls. Ellis is sub 4 with Jamari Traylor. Team foul against Kansas. So this is a 1-and-1. They actually gave the foul to Ellis, so they switched that around. So Lucas still has 3, and Aaron Ross hits the front end. So that's why Ellis went out. It was just his first foul.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to this Texas Tech team. They could have folded it in here in the middle of the second half. They get down by 18 or 19 points. The Tubby Smith crew is tough as they come. Very strong-minded group. And they're battling here with the Jayhawks down to the final minute.
They get it down to single digits since early in the second half when it was a 49-41 Kansas lead. Mikhailuk hit 4 in the first half and hits his first 3 of the second half. 5 for 5.
And this is kind of what the Kansas fans and the staff has been waiting for. Steve Mikhailuk came in highly regarded. Still only 18 years old.
Three, Williams. Smith the offensive rebound. Evans fouled. And we come to a timeout with 3.5 minutes left. Kansas trying to win their 12th consecutive ring.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is...
Just got 9. Also, Arizona and Utah. Look at Bill Wall here. Wow. Bang the drum slowly. That'll be our game coming up next. He's a beauty. Mark?
And Dan Fonz, thanks very much. 1-1 here is knocked down by Keenan Evans. Kansas with a win. They clinch their 12th straight Big 12 regular season title, at least a share of that. Of the 11 they've won coming in, they've won 7 of the 11 outright, including 5 of the last 6 they shared with Kansas State back in the 2012-13 season last. And a win would also give them 25 wins. It'd be the 11th straight season, 25+ wins for the Jayhawks.
Interesting that Coach Bill Self not going with Perry Ellis here down the stretch.
Out of bounds. Who touched it last? Joe DeRosa giving a look. They're going to keep it with Kansas. We're not under 2 minutes, so they cannot take a look at this.
So for Kansas, their two top scorers, Ellis and Selden, both on the bench, with the game in the balance.
Mason. Graham penetrates. Lucas tips it to himself and keeps it alive for the Jayhawks. Back out to Mason. Under 3 minutes to go. Screen from Traylor. Mason drives, kicks it to the corner, pass off line, so Mikhailuk steps up and takes a 2. And he hits his first 2-point field goal attempt of the game.
He just is a different player over the last few weeks. And that's coming with more minutes. He's always been good in practice. Is what Coach Self said. It's just hadn't translated to the games yet today. Big time effort from Mikhailuk.
Just one off his career high now with 17 points. He's not missed a shot. 6 of 6, 5 of those being threes. Evans in a crowd, fouled. We give that to Graham.
Well, we see the baseline drive and kind of the baseline drift action. Mason makes the pass. Mikhailuk's the beautiful head fake. You got to try to run him off the 3-point line, and then he makes it into an easy 15-foot shot.
His career high is 18, which came against Chaminade in Maui. Well, on the next Big Monday, presented by Delta, we start in the ACC at 7 Eastern with Jim Boeheim and Syracuse in Chapel Hill, taking on the 7th-ranked Heels at the Dean Dome. Then to the Big 12, another marquee matchup. Kansas may very well be the #1 team again, then taking on Texas at 9. 10-point game, 2:11 to play. Kansas looking for their 9th straight win. Texas Tech in danger of seeing a 5-game streak in, and a jam by Lucas on the lob from Ellis. Well, they're back in the game, Miles.
Ellis is such an underrated passer.
3, Ross. A Lucas rebound, his 8th. The crowd's starting to sense it. Ellis jump stop, lost it, stripped by Gray. Smith has 14 rebounds today, off with the shot, but that's tipped in. Might have gone in off Lucas, but nonetheless, timeout Texas Tech back down to 10 with 1:13 to go. Well, if Kansas wins again, it's a share. It's weeks in the AP poll since Duke fell out briefly not long ago. Luke into Ellis.
That's the guy they want to foul. If they want to extend the game, they want to give it to Lucas.
Luke, his first miss of the day, but we're under a minute to go. Staying with Texas Tech. Gocher his 5th made 3 today, and it's a 7-point game, 48 seconds remaining.
How about this Texas Tech team, man? Just a lot of resolve, a lot of toughness, a lot of fight. Have been climbing from uphill all game. Gocher with just a little quick hitter off the rub screen. Devontae Graham just falls asleep, which you can't on Todrick Gocher, the best 3-point shooter on this team. And you can see the growth in this Tubby Smith team over the last few weeks. The confidence is growing and gaining. They believe that they can compete against anybody in the country, and they're showing it today.
Well, Texas Tech, before the season began, was picked to finish last in the Big 12. If things just happen to fall apart, it's no dishonor losing in Lawrence or if you lose the next game in Morgantown, but are they a lock right now?
Today they are a lock. This one obviously doesn't hurt you. You handle your business at home, and I think Texas Tech, they're going to be the 7th team of 10 to get into the NCAA tournament.
Now they foul Mason.
But they still got a bunch of fouls to give.
Just the 15th foul. Another Hardwood Super Saturday for you. ACC Showdown coming up. North Carolina, Virginia, and Charlottesville, 6:30 Eastern here on ESPN. And the NBA on ABC. Curry and the Warriors. KD, Russell Westbrook, and the Thunder tonight. That is the 16th foul, so one more would put Kansas at the line.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Self should put Brandon Green or Selden or somebody, one of his better foul shooters, in for Lucas.
And here comes Selden, as you mentioned, and out goes Landon Lucas. 7 points for Lucas. He scored the first 5 points of the game. 8 rebounds. Kind of what you're expecting from Landon Lucas now, the way he's gone the last 11, 12 games. Foul Mason, so he'll be at the line for a 1-and-1 with 40.8 left.
Number 12, Keenan Evans, that's his 4th personal foul.
Maxie Bernstein, Bill Walton standing by in Salt Lake, Arizona, Utah coming up.
Frank Mason goes to the line, shooting 1-and-1.
Mason connects on the front end.
It's amazing, as loud as this place can be, when
How
a Kansas
quiet
guy
it can be.
shoots a free throw, man.
You hear a pin drop. Three-possession game, 41 seconds left. Quick three, Gocher. Tipped by Ross, falling out of bounds, saved it, but to Ellis. Trying to foul him. He releases ahead to Mikhailuk. It's going to be 12 straight. It's another coronation for the kings of the conference. The Kansas Jayhawks make it 12 straight Big 12 titles. Shot clock expires. We'll have it inbounds. And the Hawks will have a share of the crown. 5 straight for the Jayhawks. They clinch a share. Kansas wins it over Texas Tech, 67-58. We'll be back with more from Allen Fieldhouse shortly. For Miles